How's it, fellow adventurers? It's Banyan here. For today's video, we're in Malibu, California to say hello to another awesome Muffler Man. That's how I thought this video was gonna go, but this Muffler Man story goes way deeper than I ever imagined and became quite the headache to piece together his story. But I finally got it figured out, so come along. Just 100 feet from the sparkling Pacific Ocean, right off of the Pacific Coast Highway, stands this magnificent mustache giant, known far and wide as the Salsa Man. This guy was created in the late 1960s by International Fiberglass and didn't always look this way, going through an amazing transition from originally being a hamburger-clutching soda jerk. Watch out, Bob's big boy, you've got some competition. According to Roadside America, this original design was meant to match the Malibu Foster's Freeze fast food location that he stood atop. Easy enough to find out where in Malibu that was, right? Maybe not so much. After looking a little deeper, despite multiple websites making this same claim, I was not able to find any concrete evidence that there ever was a Foster's Freeze in Malibu. No address, no CD records, and Google Maps didn't help me either. Now that didn't add up. Why would so many websites claim he was atop the Malibu Foster's Freeze if there never was a location in Malibu? That's when I came to a realization. There may have never been a location in Malibu, but there was one not too far away in Santa Monica. With these locations being so close to each other at around 12 miles, and the unfortunate lack of love in remembering these giants' past, I could totally see how history could get fuzzy. So I found where he originally stood, but the story gaps didn't stop there. When did he move to his current location? This is when conflicting information online started to become a problem, but I wasn't gonna let that stop me. If you was one hammer, you tend to see all the problems as a nail. One site claimed that the restaurant Good Ol' La Salsa Man stood atop of for years, La Salsa Fresh Mexican Grill, opened in 1987 in this very building. On top of that, it was just a year later, in 1988, that artist Bob Daddy-O Wade adorned this guy in his current iconic look. When adding all that together, it just made sense that it was around this time, in the late 80s, that he arrived here. So I had my story all together and felt pretty strongly about my discoveries. Then I noticed it. That sign says Frosty Freeze, not Foster Freeze. And yes, after looking a little deeper, I was able to find the old school Malibu Facebook page with plenty of kind folks reminiscing of the Frosty Freeze, which opened in 1949, that once occupied this building prior to La Salsa. Just one tiny vowel off and my entire investigation took a detour up the coast. But hey, you never know what treasures you might find when you're lost in nostalgia. The history behind Foster's Freeze is pretty cool. May have to become its own video someday. Finally, we've matched all the pieces to the puzzle, and now I'm able to tell you the rest of this giant's awesome past. After his career atop the Frosty Freeze, it was time for a change. With the new conversion to La Salsa Mexican Grill around 1987 or 88, the giant soda jerk look didn't quite fit the script anymore. That's where Bob Daddy-O Wade, who I mentioned earlier, comes into the picture. After the new owners hired him to retheme their Muffler Man, Daddy-O did something amazing. Making the most out of the materials he already had, you could say he made hats out of hamburgers. Literally. That sombrero up there? Yeah, that's a hamburger bun. Same with that tray in his hands. And to top it all off, his skull was removed, flipped over, and used as a bowl of delicious chips. But this sadly is currently missing in action. Beyond these ingenious design choices, Bob also utilized real tires to create La Salsa Man's iconic Huarache sandals. Never thought I'd be so excited to see the bottoms of feet, but hey, you don't usually get to see that on a Muffler Man. Don't judge me. I could go on and on about the transformation of this giant and the details on how he got his serape and even his sun-kissed tan. But I will spare you, as it would just make it even more disappointing knowing the condition he is in with much of this magic now missing. However, my hope is that someday soon he'll be getting the love that he deserves. His story is worth being told, and it is important that we preserve everything that makes La Salsa Man, as well as all Muffler Mans, such unique roadside gems. Oh, and one more thing before wrapping this adventure up. I also happened to hear of a crazy story that, thanks to a hilarious coincidence, as well as actor Dennis Hopper, this friendly giant actually has a brother in Dodge City, Kansas. That's a story for another time, but you better believe it's on my list.